here are all the supplies we're going to need for Elihu the elephant here. And my original Elihu was made out of Knit Picks or We Crochet Gloss DK yarn that I hand dyed. This time, because this was a hand dyed yarn of mine that I don't have enough to make a second one, I'm just going to use this worsted weight yarn in 2 different colors. It's a yarn that's the company that made it is no more, so it's a discontinued yarn. But it's just a general worsted weight yarn. I'm using an H or 5mm crochet hook. All of these supplies right here all came from this Be Crafty set. I'll get right back to this in a second. For the inside of Elihu here, you need some stuffing. I use the Polyfill from Fairfield World. I really like it because it doesn't clump or anything. It works well. It does what it's supposed to do without turning into that clumpy mess. So that's all of that. And then here I have this Be Crafty crochet hook set, and it's got the crochet hooks. A bunch of these supplies I already took out, but you can see it has a lot of things other than just the crochet hook, including the conversion chart and this little pocket that all of these other fun nifty things go in. There are still some items in there I haven't used yet, or I'm not using for this project. But what I am using for this project is this crochet hook. It's an H or 5mm, pair of scissors. So these are those really fun little foldable scissors so that you don't stab yourself when they're in your bag. A yarn needle. You don't necessarily need a stitch counter, but you know, it helps, especially if you might be getting up and walking away, or if you just, you know, it's so easy to forget what row you're on. All right. And then you'll need some stitch markers, and all of this came in this container in this Be Crafty crochet hook set, which is awesome. So that's all the supplies you're going to need. If you decide to make the fabric lining instead of just stuffing straight into the crochet, which I do actually prefer the fabric lining, you will need something to make your lining out of. I'm just going to use a cotton or linen. I have a bunch of both, so I will grab one from my stash when the time comes and figure it out. For Elihu's body, you will need to make 2, one in each of your 2 colors. I'm going to start with the blue because I feel like it's easier for you all to see the blue than the yellow. So to begin, you are going to chain 8. I always like to leave myself a nice long tail. Yarn is just not so expensive that you can't afford to leave yourself a long tail just because you never know when you're going to need it for something. All right. So to begin, I need to chain 8. And now single crochet in the second chain from the hook. I'm going to actually single crochet in the bottom bumps of my chains as opposed to in the top loops. I'm going to skip the first chain, single crochet into the second chain from my hook, then half single crochet in the next. I'm sorry, half double crochet. You're like, what's a half single crochet? Half double crochet. Then double crochet in each of the next 3. Half double crochet in the next. And single crochet in the last. Okay. So I have my stitch count, my row counter here, which I forgot about. So let's see. We are on row 2 now. I forgot to turn it for row 1. So row 2, I think that's a good place for it. That way I don't forget about it this time. For row 2, we chain 1, turn the work, and single crochet in each stitch across. There will be 7 stitches. Okay, there's the end of row 2. So now we're moving on to row 3, and actually rows 2 through 7 are all the same. So I am going to go ahead and continue rows 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 all by chaining 1 and then single crocheting in each stitch across. I finished row 7, and now I need to cut the yarn and fasten it off. And then I need to repeat rows 1 through 7 and continue without fastening off. So I actually did that part already. So here is my first rows 1 through 7. I cut the yarn and fastened off, okay? And now I've repeated rows 1 through 7, and this time I'm continuing without fastening off, so I'm going to move on to row 8. For row 8, I chain 1, turn, single crochet in each chain across, which there's still only 7 of them. Then chain 10, make sure they're not too tight. Now single crochet in the top of each of the 7 stitches of the first leg, of the top of the first leg. So here's the first leg, and we're going to single crochet in the top of each of the 7 stitches. I'm going to start on the corner where I fastened off. I'm going to single crochet into that very last stitch. There will be a total of 7 single crochet on top of this leg. There's the end of row 8. Now moving on to row 9, and for row 9 I chain 1 and turn, and then half double crochet and single crochet in the first stitch. None of these chain 1s at the beginning of our work are counting as a stitch. Now I'm going to single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. Now single crochet in each of the next 10 chains. Now because they are coming off of already worked stitches, I don't want to work in the bottom loops of these chains. That will cause me to put some twists in my work that I don't want. So I need to work through the top 2 loops of these chains, and I need to place a single crochet in each of the 10 chains. First one and the last one are always the hardest in this. Here's my 10th chain, and then I need to single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, and then single crochet and half double crochet both in the last stitch, and that will give me a total of 26 stitches in this row. Now for row 10, we are going to chain 1, turn, and single crochet in each stitch across, and like I said a moment ago, there are 26 stitches. Okay, now on to row 11. We are going to chain 1, turn, and then half double crochet and single crochet into the first stitch. Then single crochet into each remaining stitch across. There will be a total of 27 stitches in this row. Okay, now time for row 12. We are going to chain 1, turn, and single crochet in each stitch across, so there are still 27 stitches. Now on to row 13. We are going to chain 1, and then place a marker around the chain that we just made. Then turn and single crochet in each stitch across, so there'll still be 27 stitches, but after we do our very last stitch, we're going to need to place a marker around that one as well. I just finished my last single crochet. Now I'm going to take a marker and I'm just going to place it around the side of that last stitch I made. There we go. Now we're going to move on to row 14. Chain 1, turn, half double crochet and single crochet in the first stitch, and then single crochet in each stitch across, so that there will be 28 stitches. Row 15, this is actually where we're going to start our trunk, which is so exciting. We are going to chain 1, turn, and single crochet in each of the first 27 stitches, which means there will just be 1 stitch left. So single crochet in the first 27 stitches, and there'll be 1 stitch left. Now in this last stitch, I'm going to single crochet and half double crochet but we're still not done. Now you need to chain 28. Make sure you do that nice and loosely so that you can go back and work into it. Not too loose, but loose enough that you can go back and work into those chains, all right? 28. And we have our 28 done. Going on to row 16, I'm going to turn and single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in the next chain. So I'm skipping that first single crochet. I'm going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook and into the next chain. And then I'm going to single crochet 2 together and single crochet into each of the next 2 chains twice. So single crochet 2 together. I go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through, all of that. And that's single crochet 2 together. Then single crochet in each of the next 2 chains. Have to do that again. Single crochet 2 together, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, into the chain after that, maybe. Yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through, all of that, and then single crochet into each of the next 2 chains. Okay, now we single crochet 2 together again, and then single crochet in each of the next 11 chains. So into the first chain, yarn over, pull through, into the second chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, all of that for a single crochet 2 together, and then single crochet into each of the next 11 chains. And this is 11, and then I'm going to put 2 single crochet into each of the next 3 chains. Okay, so we'll do 1 and 2 into that first chain, 1 and 2 into that second chain, 1 and 2 into the third chain, then single crochet into the next chain and single crochet into each stitch across. Single crochet into the next chain, and then single crochet into each stitch across. That's 29 stitches that we're going into across, and when we're done there will be a total of 56 stitches in this row. Row 17, we're going to chain 1, turn, single crochet into each of the first 30 stitches. Okay, 30, 2 single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, skip 1, and then slip stitch into the back loop only of each of the next 21 stitches. So I'm skipping 1, okay, and I'm going to slip stitch into the back loop only of each of the next 21 stitches. Try not to pull that too tight. Okay, and 21, and that got me all the way to the end of this little trunk. Now row 18, we are going to chain 1, turn, skip 1 of those slip stitches, and then single crochet into the next stitch. So we skip, obviously you don't work into the chain 1 you did, skip 1, and then single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet 2 together, same way we did them before, 1 and 2, and pull it, yarn over, pull through both, and then single crochet into the next stitch, then do those 2 again, single crochet 2 together, 1 and 2, and then single crochet into the next stitch. Now single crochet 2 together again. 1 and 2. If it is really hard for you to do this, you need to pull out all of your slip stitches and do them again looser. If you don't do your slip stitches loose enough, it will be nearly impossible to work into them. That is not a problem with the hook. That is not a problem with the yarn. That is a problem with slip stitches are always really tighter than the rest of your work. So you need to think about consciously making them looser if you're going to have to work into them. Okay, now we are going to single crochet into each of the next 13 stitches. There's the 13, and those last 2 stitches I made were finally easier to make because we were no longer working in the slip stitches. Now 2 single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet into each of the remaining stitches across. You will end up with a total of 53 stitches in this row. Now row 19, we're going to chain 1, turn, single crochet in each of the first 33 stitches. There's 33. Now 2 single crochet in the next stitch. Single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. Skip 1, slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch. Skip 1, slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch. Leave remaining stitches unworked. All right, so that is actually the end of row 19, even though we haven't gotten all the way to the end of the trunk. Row 20, we are going to chain 1 and then place a marker around that chain that we just made. Okay? Now turn, skip 1 and slip stitch into the back loop only of the next 2 stitches. So we of course skip the chain, then we skip 1 and slip stitch into the back loop only of the next 2 stitches. Remember not to do that too tight. 1 and 2. Single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. Okay, so through both loops, because it does not say otherwise. 2, 5, 2 single crochet in the next stitch. Single crochet in each remaining stitch across, and you will have a total of 41 stitches that you made in this row. Remember, when you are counting stitches for the row counts, when you do your row counts, slip stitches and chains do not count, okay? Row 21, chain 1, turn, single crochet in each of the first 35 stitches. Okay, 2 single crochet in the next stitch. Single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. Skip 1 and slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch. So we're skipping 1, slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch. That is the end of row 21. So for row 22, we are going to chain 1, turn, skip 1, slip stitch in the back loop only of each of the next 2 stitches. So skip 1, and then we're skipping the chain, then we're skipping one of our stitches, and we're going to slip stitch into the back loop only of each of the next 2 stitches. Single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and single crochet in each remaining stitch across. You will have made a total of 41 stitches in this row. Row 23, chain 1, turn, skip 1, single crochet in each of the next 36 stitches. So we're going to obviously skip the chain, we're going to skip the first stitch, and then single crochet in each of the next 36 stitches. 36, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, skip 1, slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch. Skip 1, then slip stitch into the back loop only of the next stitch. That is the end. There are actually 41 stitches. There were 41 stitches that you made in that row, and we are now going to move on to row 24. For row 24, we chain 1, turn, skip 1, slip stitch in the back loop only of each of the next 2 stitches. So we skip the chain, we skip the first stitch, and we slip stitch into the back loop only of 1 and 2. Single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in each stitch across. You will have made a total of 40 stitches in this row. 25, we are going to chain 1 and then place a marker around the chain that we just made. Doesn't matter what the colors of the markers are, it's going to be obvious which one is which when you need to use them. Turn, skip 1, and single crochet into each of the next 36 stitches. So we skip the chain, we skip the first stitch, we single crochet into each of the next 36 stitches. 2 single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, skip 1, slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch. There will be a total of 40 stitches in this row that I might be completing. There we go. Okay, so now row 26. For row 26, we're going to chain 1, turn, skip 1, slip stitch into the back loop only of each of the next 2 stitches. So chain, skip the first stitch, slip stitch into the back loop only of 1 and 2, then single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and single crochet in each stitch across, giving us a total of 39 stitches in this row. Row 27, we are going to chain 1, turn, skip 1, single crochet in each of the next 34 stitches. So we are skipping the chain 1, skipping the first stitch. Now single crochet in each of the next 34 stitches. Then single crochet 2 together. And then leave the rest of the stitches unworked. For row 28, we're going to chain 1, turn, skip 1, single crochet in each of the next 32 stitches. And single crochet 2 together. 29, chain 1, turn, skip 1, single crochet in each of the next 30 stitches, single crochet 2 together, Now 30, we are going to chain 1, turn, skip 1, single crochet in each of the next 27 stitches. Now this time we're single crocheting 3 together. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then together. 31, we are going to chain, turn, skip 1, single crochet 2 together, single crochet in each of the next 13 stitches. So there's my 13. Now I'm going to single crochet 3 together. 1, 2, 3, and then together. And then I'm going to leave the remaining stitches unworked for a total of 28 stitches made. Then I'm going to leave the remaining stitches unworked for a total of 15 stitches made. Now we're on to row 32. We are going to chain 1. We're so close, guys. Chain 1, turn, skip 1, single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. 11, and now single crochet 3 together. There's a total of 12 stitches in that row. So now we are on to our last row of the body, but we're not going to cut. We are going to chain 1 for row 33, chain 1, turn, skip 1, single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. Single crochet in the chain 1. It's not always easy to find here. Right there. There we go. Single crochet around the side of the last stitch from row 31. So that's this kind of where you see this single crochet 3 together. That would be what you're single crocheting into. Single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. Okay, so this stitch was worked into. You're going into the next stitch that has not been worked into. 1, and then single crochet 3 together. Okay, now we're going to continue onto the border without fastening off.